Hi, it's Mark. We're going to talk about a question that I get asked all the time. What's better for me, buying or renting? So let's start off with talking about renting. Some of the positives about renting that I find that many people enjoy is that there's no down payment with renting. You simply come up with your first month's rent and a security deposit, which can be less expensive than a down payment on a home. Also, you're not responsible for the maintenance. So if you got a problem with the appliances or if the heat or air conditioning goes out, you call the landlord. It's their problem. You don't pay for it. More short-term obligation, a lot of times, is what I'm finding people really appreciate. So if you're in a situation where, let's say, you just don't know where your life is going to take you, sometimes it really makes sense to rent simply because you don't have a long-term obligation where you're committed to. Also, it provides freedom. It gives you the ability to make choices more often about where you want to live and your living situation. So now let's switch and let's talk about buying. The pros for buying, many people find, is that currently in our market right now, rental rates are really at an all-time high. So what that means is when you're purchasing a property, what we often find is when a buyer puts the correct down payment down, their mortgage payments frequently are less than what they would have paid for rent, which means they can actually get into a nicer property than they could if they were renting for less money. Paying your own debt down versus someone else's is always a common thing that I hear people will choose to buy versus rent. When you are renting, you're paying that landlord's debt down versus each month when you make a mortgage payment, you're dropping your own debt, which puts you one step closer to having complete freedom when you do retire once that debt is fully, completely paid off. The other thing that people like about home ownership is market appreciation. On average, properties in this area will appreciate anywhere between 3 and 5% per year. Now, on a $200,000 property, that's between $6,000 and $10,000 that your home could appreciate each year. So, one other thing that people do tend to like about home ownership is it gives them the freedom to personalize and make choices about the property when it comes to decorating and remodeling that make that property feel like it's their own home. So if you have more questions about whether it's right for you to rent or purchase, please consider me a resource, and you can contact me using the information that's provided in this email.